Hello, I think this is working now. I had some trouble initially setting up the stream. Just checking to make sure that this is actually running. Okay, it is. I'm gonna post out a link quickly and then I'll start working on this. A sec. Alright. If you could just sit tight 1 sec. This is only my second time doing this, so it's not the best setup for the first time. Tried to set up a public event, it more or less floundered. Let me post it. New link. Live now. So yeah, there's a Discord I follow that I'm posting in, and as well as I posted a comment on Instagram, but that has the wrong link. So a tweet and just quickly edit my Instagram. Yeah, for whatever reason I am using this new software and it kind of screwed up when I submitted. So anyway, let's get going on this. Let me see the feed. Hello. Alright. Anyway, so now actually do something productive. Alright. So this is the shot I'm working on. I think I showed this last week. And here I can scrub through what I have. So this character just crash landed in her ship. With all of her shipmates are dead, and right now she is jumping a small fissure inside the ship to get to a suit, meanwhile communicating with her partner up in space over the moon of one of Jupiter's moons, Europa, which is the name of the film, and that she does not know what to do with herself. So anyway, what you'll see over here is I have a breakdown drawing, and then I have a key drawing, and then I have 3 drawings that need inking. So first what we're going to do is pull the middle one. What's kind of nice is I can view just the breakdown and the key for reference, and I can see if they're matching the rough animation that's already been made. And I'm just going to start. For the most part, I'm looking for a line work that's not too hairy, but has a little bit more life in it than just a straight vector line like I did in my last film. her nose, eyebrows, going a lot closer. If I remove the onion skin, it kind of makes it work a little faster. I feel like after the feed died out like that, I need to almost give another try, maybe as a test midweek before I have people logging in to watch. Let me see if anybody's on the Discord. No. That's alright though. It's annoying. Wish this software is a little bit better. I'm using an Elgato card. It's not bad, but the streaming software isn't incredibly high-end, so it kind of leaves less than desired as far as controllability. I set a feed thinking that I could create the link ahead of time and link to it, and I did, and then it seemed to die out, and then YouTube won't let me redo the feed again after it's done. It says, oh, the video's done. So, SOL. So this is her hand back here. I think the main thing about me doing this, even if nobody's watching, is it's at least forcing me to focus and work for a small bit of time every week. Which means I'm probably going to keep doing this in some way, because I think it's good. When I introduced my students this year during their thesis presentation, I said how eating an elephant is best done one bite at a time, and that's how this is done. When you're working on a film, this one's 5 minutes long. It just takes such a long amount of time that focusing too much on it can almost be overwhelming. Alright, so literally one frame done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the frame above it, and you'll notice that I can still see the onion skin. I can make the onion skin a bit darker from the previous frame. Let's see if I can make the screen a bit brighter too. That's better. Oops. Right. So when I go to this frame, I have to disable the favored onion skin for just the previous frame onion skin. So I'm going to just do that. I think the weight is a little too heavy. I can't really see what's going on. Alright, so I'm going to ink this one. I think I'm going to focus on the hand first because that's the biggest action. Up the arm. I'll just keep going up the head. This is actually the 4th time I've done this shot. Not only did I animate it once with a different character, I then tried to do it as a puppet. Oh, did I forget her eyebrows? No, I didn't. Look at that though, her hair is not extended. Previous time I had done it as a puppet rig and then I reanimated it, and this time I'm going through and just fixing the animation because I wasn't happy with the first pass. Last week I kind of went into a little bit more detail as to why I wasn't super thrilled with it. As much as I want her to feel kind of floaty, it was feeling almost a little too much so, and I wanted to add a bit more of a hop over the fissure and then kind of change up the ending of the shot a little bit, the timing. And that it changed around lip sync. Alright, so work our way down the body. Today I was debating about how I'm showing this over the shoulder as opposed to maybe a screen view with an inset head, which I kind of thought about, but this is kind of an easier way of doing it. Otherwise I need maybe another capture card to capture the inset, or I need a just different setup. But I don't know. Some people I follow like using this setup, or others I've seen actually just do screencasts, which also works well. I mean, you get a bit of a cleaner piece of work, but you don't get to see the hand moving on it. I have a pretty nice camera, so I figured why not do it this way. Alright, that is one more frame done. And then we're going to go to the last one in the set. Probably should mute when I'm taking a sip of water. Okay, just check to see what my audio is. Wow, really do not want to hear what I'm saying. Oh, move my glass. Looks kind of weird. Alright. So this should be the last frame in this series. I think I'm going to start with the head first. Kind of arbitrarily decide what I do each time. Inking is a little less involved than actually animating. Actually, animating takes quite a bit more focus. I have a few people helping me on these, so typically I'll end up just doing a layout, which hopefully in the coming weeks I could just do a layout and show you how that's done. Let's see if I got a bottom lip. So last week I did 5 drawings. I need to zoom in a bit, it's getting kind of janked. So the way I'm actually going to end up compositing these is the line work, this stuff, will end up being actually in the final animation. So I've been a little precious about those lines, making sure that they are the way I want them, because they will be in the final, which has been a little bit more time consuming, but I think it's a good thing. After this video is done, I'll be posting it again, which is always useful. And then hopefully next week I can send out the link and get it properly set up properly ahead of time. Fortunately, I had about 5 or 6 people try to access the feed, and then they couldn't. Right, this got really hairy in here. I'm gonna delete that. So what I mean by hairy is when you do this. I don't want that. I want this. So in general, you want to stay away from lines that feel too hairy and indecisive. that's frame 3. So here we can scrub through all of this. So this is what I just cleaned up now. And now this whole section is relatively cleaned up. I have another section back here. Actually, I'll scrub all the way to it. That I also have to work on. If I scrub on my timeline, I should be able to hear it through the mic. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is I have a key. Let's minimize the timeline. I kind of like working exposure mode more. So I have a breakdown and I have a key. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the key, view the previous key, and I'll start inking this key. So it's getting kind of close. A little eyebrow a little thicker at the top. So I'm kind of trying to keep an eye on what's going on over in the previous frame. So it's somewhat close. It's funny, I actually did it probably a year ago. Give a bit of an eyelid to it. The eyes are kind of close. And then I'm going to start drawing the hair. So next thing that's important is I want to get the hand right. Not super cool with the old hand, but it's close to what I want. So I'll just go with it for now. Alright, one thing that's missing here, let's turn off this. She has a cuff here that's supposed to be, here you can see it right here. One thing I can do too is I can clip this and then I can flip back. And you can kind of see what the problem is. So I'm going to delete this. Kind of move it over. I don't really care so much that it's wrong in the drawing, the original drawing, even though I'm saving them. I feel like in the end I'll just give it more character. Bit of a joke. Hahaha. Alright. Let's check this one. Yeah, same thing. It's missing that cuff. It's alright. So she's holding on to something here. much of an overshoot there. Thanks for the compliment. Alright, now that I got the keyframe done, I'm going to go back and work on the breakdown, just right here. We can see previous frames, green and red. That's where the nose is. If you have any questions, you can ask them in chat. I'm more than happy to answer pretty much about anything, even unrelated to this or related to animation in general or working in animation or this film or anything. Alright, gotta check back. Alright, it's looking fine. Yeah, I got once again, I gotta move this line over. It's gonna wiggle too much if I don't. Like that shoulder or this. This drawing feels a little rougher than the other ones. leg got really thin right there. It spontaneously grew thicker. I think I'll probably go with the thicker leg and fix it. Alright, so I'll go back to the key. Delete all that. Favor the green line. Might involve me need to repaint a bit. Same on this one. So it's a bit better. I'll have to fix the coloring later. It's about a woman who is selected to go on a mission to the one of Jupiter's moons, Europa, and she needs to decide after her ship crashes to either A, finish her mission, or to just give up and die on the moon. It's about a 5-minute film. Thanks for asking. I guess some other information about it is I've been working on it for about 5 years. I have about half of it animated. I can kind of show you quickly what the end of this shot is supposed to look like. So this is what the composite was supposed to look like. On this shot.
Winston, it's not good. I'm the only one left.
So what I'm basically doing in this shot is fixing this point because I felt the hop was not very clear, and I'm making it a stronger kind of moon gravity kind of vibe, because the moon on Europa actually doesn't have a lot of gravity. So it kind of made sense to me that when, after she crashes, that should kind of end up being the feeling. And the reanimation of the shot, if it will open. There it goes. Looks a bit more like this.
Winston, it's not good. I'm the only one left.
So that's the new animation. So I have a question for you. When I teach every year, my first question to my students is what their favorite film is. And I'd like to know what your favorite film is. Animated film, obviously. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. I haven't seen Treasure Planet in a few years. A lot of people talk about how I feel like after it came out, it had a bit of a resurgence in the last few years, or with newer generations. It probably didn't do so well when it first came out, which is kind of sad. It's a good-looking film, little on the dark side. When it's actually funny, most times most of the answers I get are actually usually Miyazaki or Pixar films, so I guess it's nice to hear one that's neither, albeit Disney. I believe that's Disney. I think it came out about the same time as Atlantis. I think in my head sometimes I conflate the two. But Atlantis was kind of okay. I think what the one I always end up picking is whatever one I've most recently watched with my son 5,000 times. Because usually he wants to watch it 5,000 times, but of late I've been keep going back to Kiki's Delivery Service. If anything, it's the only movie I could actually watch probably 30 times and not get really sick of. And I was surprised how much one kid could want to watch one movie until I saw that and watched that quite a bit. Anyway, I think I'm wrapping up for tonight. Gonna probably try to do this again next Wednesday. After that, I'm on vacation for a week, so I probably won't do it. And hopefully my links actually work. Oh, see, here's something. See, it's one of the things you gotta do when you're doing this is kind of go through it and find little pops and errors, and you can see her chest has a pop right here, so I'm gonna go in and fix the line work on this. Actually fixing the line work under it, coloring, just so I need to go back and do it later. Yeah, it looks a bit better. Yeah, still not perfect, but better. So, oh cool, you're from Artist Alley? Yeah, it's neat. Have you posted a few times there? Oh, and by the way, thank you for being the one person that showed up. That's really wonderful, and I really appreciate it. It's nice to have somebody watch. So, thank you very, very much for watching. And I hope you can come back again. So, I think I'm gonna call it wraps for tonight. Thanks so much.